This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and this is the Mapping 101 Thursdays, and Dirbo speaking here. And yes, we are back once again on air after several years of not being able to broadcast. And of course, this is a pre-tape version ever since that we are going to shoot this Mapping 101 Thursdays with the help of our fellow mappers from the OpenStreetMap contributors. And yes, we have our mappy friends as well, especially that we have ongoing discussion with regards to the access restriction that is being planned in this moment. But as far as we have been observing ever since from 4th of July, that several new shops has been added, which is already missing in the OpenStreetMap database, and even the missing parking lot here that is in between the COEXA and the Bayleaf hotel buildings. And likewise, this one has been converted already into the utility services and maintenance, since this one has been converted into some sort of a quarantine area during the COVID pandemic disaster, and of course other missing buildings and even parking lot has to be added, even though there is an ongoing issue with the Maxar imagery that are being worked out for. And without further ado, let's begin this editing, wherein we have an off-cam editing that got happened earlier before we have decided to shoot. Of course, these fences has been cut down into three parts, and this one must be a parking area for the entire COEXA building, and as a filler parking lot just in case the old buildings have been into a full parking status. And this one would be a reliever parking lot just in case of untimely full parking for the students inside this COEXA building. And please be advised that these elevators are not available at this moment, but we will give you more updates as soon as new information is available. And speaking of this, some of you might not be familiar with the relations feature, wherein at this moment we have a way segment here, and in order for us to add these features and to segregate everything in order, which is a part of the 5S discipline implementation. We have to split this fence once again. Aside from the off-cam editing that we have done earlier for JOSM editor, you have to press the P key and there you go. It has been split already. And likewise for this existing way segment, we have to copy this, then add a relation. We're not yet sure if this dialogue would be show up, but we don't think so. We might opt to share a full screen version as well. And there you have it. Ever since that, the black bars might get pop up. For us, it is obviously intended to filter out all of this information at the toolbox. And as you can see, it is copied already. Then we have set into the outer role. Then we have to delete the existing tags on the way segment. And there you go. The relation has been created already. And then of course we have to split all of this into two. And you have to select the greater number of nodes before you split. Then we have this dialogue that it says a relationship member was copied to all new ways. You should verify this and correct it when necessary. So here comes the correction. We have to correct this one, especially this one is outdated already. And then we have to set this to. But we have a problem. We have to cut this fence once again into two parts, and there you have it. Then we have selected these two, and of course we have to add this two into the single relation as well. Then here we go. And this line, please make sure that the ID is at 0 before you delete. Otherwise, we have a special portion for you to modify or reduce without ever deleting that previously saved IDs as well. And if you double click it, then you should see the coexa parking already. But we have a problem here wherein we have a common mistake here, which is to encode this type equals multi-polygon always. This multi-polygon here will serve as a reminder that we have to define what it is, the area, and then we have to tag the previous way segment that is being associated with. Previously is equals to way colon with a string of numbers as well. Then click or tap OK if you're done. Then let's double click this area and there you go. The violet inside has been seen already. And for the mapping styles, we have to open this JOSM default in order for us to show the color coding and other some sort of symbols that we need to identify. Especially this is helpful for most beginner mappers right now. And we have to add a missing parking lot. Aside from we have Paylif Hotel parking here, which is open for employees and guests. This one should be restricted as well into a permit since we have a restricted access policy here. And also we have to restrict this once again into a permit. And this one must be a permit once again. And we will be deleting this name of the building. And also this one is a former name. Way back 2014. And there you have it. And also we have some sort of toilets that has been mapped already. And At this time, we have to add the missing parking lot. Either we extend this existing parking lot that is intended for COEXA building exclusive, or should we say by editing this one, we have to remove this one and add this two as well. And as we have been checking this out, there is some sort of a bug going on. And we cannot understand what it is going on here. Maybe this fence might be doing something to interfere with our mapping operation. And if we're going to redo this one, which is not working again, hence this fence might be causing the problem here. So we are going to troubleshoot this thing out. And our remedy only is to add another parking lot. But it never happened. Which should mean we have to duplicate this thing out. But hey, while we are troubleshooting, something going on here in which we cannot understand this. Oh, it's a disconnected. One would possibly not connected. And it's our mistake already. Hence, it's being corrected already. And our apologies for such mistakes. Again. And by the way, if you've seen the broken connection recently, that means it is not connected properly. So please take note of this. We are yet to be sure if this would be extended further downwards, because this one is meant for a new building. which would be happening in the near future. And also we have another one. Some sort of a retail buildings here. And unfortunately, some of the mappers here might getting into a mistake here of adding a way segment instead of further down adding such. And right as we troubleshoot this, then there is a chance for us to convert this into a relations segment. That instead of, wait, we should be strictly implementing the new highway name in which it is consistent with the laws of the Republic of the Philippines. It must be Governor Juanito Remulla Senior Highway. But we have to adopt something like an old highway name in an enclosed parenthesis. So we have to correct this one. Let's try this again. Don't forget, is always type equals multi-polygon and then paste everything here. Then we have to set these things up. And then get rid of this unwanted way segment. But this time we have to select these fewer nodes so that we could never accidentally delete the old one. Then there you go. Then add the remaining way segments into the relations. But here's the catch. We have to cut this again. Then delete the excess. And also maybe extend this one. And there you go. And correct if necessary all of the buildings and lines as well. This one must be a restaurant or a fast food chain. And we might add something like an area of uncertainty, and it should be like this. Then cut the wall. Then cut the wall as well. This one should be rid of the wall element since there is a neighboring fast food chain. Then this new cafeteria industrial city has to be recalibrated. But wait, we have something wrong. We have to download the incomplete members first before you edit it up. And we think this would be the offset. Follow this. And there you have it. And we're not sure if we should follow this all the way until this. Then this for the sort of a fast food restaurant. And we might have to correct this in the future episode when the latest Maxar imagery becomes available. OpenStreetMap Foundation is currently working at this issue with the Maxar technologies regarding the API key issue that has been encountered. So we have to advise everyone that in the event of these new buildings that got up and running, we have to add an estimation of these buildings in which this would be a commercial building, two-story levels as well. And let's have sort of a setback against the highway. And there you go. We might have to split this two. And there you go. We have to split this two. Therefore, we could easily add this into a commercial land use area. And of course, be this must be much easier than adding a race segment that would obviously waste our time. And this one could be split into two pieces here. Especially this one must be a Burger King. And by the way, this is not sponsored in any way. And we will be going to extract some sort of you know a sort of name suggestion index that is yet to be activated for some reason here. And to do this, we have to enable some sort of a plugins or tagging presets. And we might have to run a preliminary stages. And this one is under construction. Well, as you can see here, this is your Dirple speaking on a live voice. Well, as you can see, we are still being estimating all of these areas and buildings that we are very concerned about, especially when it comes to these estimations. It's a rough estimate wherein the building at the center and the commercial establishments has to be mapped accurately and precisely in order to avoid some sort of issues that we might be facing. The yellow one would mean it's a construction site, and the gray or white, or should we say the selected portion, is in a violet, and we have selected these two objects and we have copied some of the vital information that we have needed, particularly the delivery, drive-through, and even the internet access. Or, I'm sorry, opening hours rather. And we have to highlight the payment options that we need, and also the toilets colon wheelchair key has to be checked, and all unnecessary taggings have been taken down as well. We're not yet sure with regards to the outdoor seating, so if we have more time, possibly last week, we will do a follow-up editing for this episode. And as we zoom this thing out and have proceeded through LBU cover their area of responsibility, we have checked everything, including the warning signage that no pedestrian should cross on the highway surface as well. And it said, use the footage, and if you're a Lycean string here, tuning into this Mapping 101 Thursdays, may we always remind everyone that jaywalking is against the law and you could be subjected to administrative and civil penalties as if posed by the law, without the prejudice to the provisions of the local ordinances. Here in Tasmania City, we have a strict anti-jaywalking ordinance.
As we conclude this,
Listen,
we have to save this everything. But however, we have to cite all of the sources that we have. And as a general rule, it falls under the fair use doctrine, wherein this surveying has been, executed by yours truly for the duration of the campus visitation as well, since you have missed everything out. And that's why it is important for us to take this food surveying in order to stay clear of potential accountabilities that may be brought up at. And there you have it. Everything settled. Course, this has to conclude this Mapping 101 Thursdays episode. Is to say we're yet to be sure on when it will be the next episode out of this. So be safe, be well, stay sane, and try and your love. This has been your dear Paul. And of course, have a wonderful evening ahead.
It's now 16:15, and of course, this is your Paul speaking, and we appreciate all of you, especially in this pre-tape episode that has been shot via Zoom. And of course, we are so very thankful to the Lyceum of the Philippines University Cavite for somewhat letting us know that we have missed already the entire university complex, especially when the onset of the pandemic have strike, thus prohibiting all students from coming into the on-site campus. And we have been enduring such almost 10-year journey of getting into some sort of failures and rejections, and we have witnessed some sort of fire-related accidents, vehicular-related accidents, and even the stalled engine of the passenger jeepney right before we have reached the LPU Cavite. And right as we speak, of course, we have to be more prepared when it comes to this mapping 101 Thursdays. And right now, right as you have heard earlier, we have an issue with the Maxar imagery wherein we have unable to edit normally as it should. And of course, the only option is to have all of these pre-taped episodes to be shot on selected days. And likewise, if you're a Falconian who's reviewing to the Falcon Engineering Review Center, there is an ongoing training for Saturday morning. So please be right there at the Falcon ERC Manila in Quiapo. And it is accessible through MRT2 and LRT1. So because we have to do something for this apologies for brief disruption, but we have to do something for this hashtag science-based topics that we have to impart on everyone, whether it's for engineering or for medical science, health science, and so on and so forth, including this multimedia and tech matters. And if you're interested for such science-based dating coach, Coach V, you may actually check it out, Singles Events Manila and Dating University PH, all over Facebook. So hopefully the science-based topics will be starting this July from 15:30 onwards. And of course, it must be a shorter than expected, but we have run into a lengthy episode. So this has been your Paul. Have a wonderful day ahead. Be safe, be well, stay sane and dry, and you're loved. Mobbing 101 Thursdays. Copyright Open Straight Up and Contributors. Copyright S3 Imagery. And programming copyright DP24 Media.